Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Market Pulse. My name is Ajit Mahuli, the founder and mentor at LearnPriceActionTrading.com. Let's take a look at what the Indian index, Nifty has been doing so far and is likely to do in the coming week. So let's begin our analysis with the monthly chart. So Nifty, this was the first monthly demand zone. That's the monthly demand zone where in the month of March, we tested, went up, gave a high of about 18,160. And then again, we retraced it last month. And this month, again, we are back into the same area. Now, this zone is becoming weaker. The location is also not really apt for us to be aggressive buyers. Yes, you could get a bounce, short-term income bounce, where you can have some intraday or short income trades for a couple of days on the long side. It's too late right now to short into this. We'll wait for the price to bounce back to some good areas where sell orders are predominantly available, and then we can sell it for maybe a higher target. So that's probably the area where we could expect index to go to approximately 14,719 based on the monthly chart. Of course, the levels will change as we go down and fine tune out smaller time frame, but that looks now quite possible that we will move down all the way here to this part, and we are creating some new areas of supply zone once we break this. So this is going to be a 16,400 to 17,000 will be crucial area for the index. So if we bounce from these areas of demand zone again, so that's the minimum target, about 16,500 to 17,000, where we can go to as of now. Coming back to the weekly chart, now that's the area of demand zone. This was a consolidation from where we broke and printed new all-time highs before we turned down, and the trend is clearly down. We broke the last month lows and probably are on our way to break even this low. And once we break this low, probably it will be easier for the prices to move to this area. So when we come to weekly chart, this is going to be weak area. So longs will be only short term, only up to, let's say, 16,550. That's a new area of supply zone. But that's the main supply where the prices will keep on ranging. Now, there is also a good possibility that if this demand zone holds, we could go all the way to 16,800 again, because that area has been holding so far. So let's see on a daily chart what the details are here, but that's going to be the range for this and probably even next week for the index as of now. Once we break this, probably then there'll be a clear path for it to go to 14,800, and that's where we'll look at some confirmation longs. The bias clearly remains on the downside. Shorts going to be only on pullback. Longs will be only based on confirmation. Taking a look at the daily chart. Now, daily chart, again, there is nothing changed, but this is a very interesting demand zone, which is lower here. So if I take both these levels, so about 15,500 to 15,140. Now there is good chance that prices could go down here and then move up, or they could move up from these areas itself. So we still haven't broken this low. So tomorrow's price action will confirm what is going to happen. So if this breaks, long traders should wait for prices to come into this area of demand zone and confirmation go long. Overall, global markets are in a negative undertone, but they are all pretty much oversold. So we could see a bounce in the coming days, but for that, we need to wait for some good confirmation. Immediate bounce can be expected up to 16,358. So that's going to be the range that we will be looking at. So if I have to mark these original areas here, from where the previous time it did bounce. So based on the daily chart, that's going to be this is a weekly demand zone. That's going to be the range for the next few days, right? So that's going to be the range. So this is a bigger range for a couple of weeks. This week, probably Nifty will be range bound between 16,400 to possibly even 15,500. But if we don't break today's low, then there is a good chance that we could start moving up towards 16,300 at least. So taking a look at the smaller time frame, which is 75-minute chart, let me just draw the original demand zone from where all the orders are being picked up from. So that's the area which is as of now holding prices. So that's the area. So the location is pretty good, but we need to wait for some more confirmation. Maybe once the index starts trading about 15,800 to 15,900 in that range, then it could make an attempt to move towards 16,200 to 16,300. So that's going to be the range. And new shorts, swing shorts are still good at these areas about 16,800. Remember, the way markets fall, they can also move up like that. So don't get carried away by smaller time frame areas. Those are only to be played intraday. The overall trend is still down. So we still need more confirmation to go longs and shorts only once we clear this 15,640 area and close, start trading below that. Then we have a bigger room for the index to move to. So probably it could be somewhere close to 15,000, the next immediate target for where we can look at some meaningful longs. So that's going to be the area. So demand zones are weaker, supply zones are stronger, but the location does not allow us to short. So this is the range that you will keep on playing for this week till we break 15,500. A quick correlation with the India VIX for Nifty. If you take a look on the monthly chart, that's the area between which it is ranging. That's the monthly supply. For VIX, remember the index is negatively correlated. So if VIX goes up, the index, Nifty index usually comes down. So that's the monthly range where it is ranging, more room for the for India VIX to move up. And when we come to the weekly, that's the area where it is right now trading. Now, this could also offer us some good long opportunities based on confirmation if that supply zone holds. If this weekly supply zone holds, we could see that but once it starts turning, we could again see it coming closer to 1918, and the index might move to 16,250 to 400 range. So this is the weekly range that is still holding up, and on the daily, you don't have any supply zone right now. Here, the next supply zone starts all the way. If I have to mark the original supply, that's the original daily supply zone. So if I remove this and you take a look at the daily, there is there is a good chance that we could go. Maybe because the US markets are negative, we could gap down. This could go up. And then once it starts correcting from here, you could see the index forming some good areas of demand, and on confirmation, you can go long on index. So, but if this is broken, then we do have another supply here. But then that would probably take index to 15,400 to 15,100 levels if VIX goes all the way to 28. But right now, be cautious about longs. Don't be in a hurry. On the smaller time frames, if I have to take a look, it's still holding in this area, but there is enough room for the VIX to probably go all the way to 24 and 25. That's what we have for Nifty and India VIX. Let's take a look at what Bank Nifty has been doing and is likely to do this week till 19 June. Starting with the monthly chart, Bank Nifty is definitely at a good area of demand zone, which has been held for the last few months. That's the monthly demand zone. Now, the only thing is it could still go deeper into this demand zone, even to, let's say, 31,000, 32,000, based on the areas on smaller time frame. And this could be possibly the area still where it can go and start coming down. So no clear supply zones formed, but the trend is shaky, and we are seeing prices being rejected as soon as they get into they get about 36, 37,000. So that's going to keep Bank Nifty in some range bound activity. On the weekly chart, that's the area of demand zone, which is right now holding up, and we are back again to that. Again, if let's say tomorrow markets gap down, they might gap down into this demand zone and start moving up. So based on the weekly chart, the immediate target would be approximately 35,526. So this week range for Bank Nifty could definitely be all the way this week and even probably next week between these areas, close to 36,800 to 31,800. So a good range for the remainder of this month or the next 2 weeks. That's what we can expect. The next good areas of demand zone after this is probably going to be only at 30,000. So be careful. Don't. This is still not a time for us to do any investments. You could get better prices. Remember, a lot of factors which are weighing on the markets, with the rupee hitting an all-time low against the dollar, plus global markets being weak, inflation being weak, inflation rising, etc. everywhere because of the war situation. It's going to be difficult for prices to move quite high areas of supply like this one, which is the best area of supply. Only once we start trading about 36,500 to 37,000 is when we can look at 38, 39,000. But so far, it's going to be between 37 to 32, the range based on the weekly. Taking a look at the daily, just remove these areas. So that's how the picture looks on the daily. So if I have to mark my daily demand zone within these monthly and weekly, that's how I would mark the daily demand zone. That's the immediate demand zone, and that's going to be the next area of demand zone, which is at about 31,100. But there was a retracement after a long time. Prices gave a good bounce. We came back. Newly formed demand zones gave a bounce to the next immediate weekly supply. We came down, breaking some areas of demand. Now it's crucial to see how price behaves between 33,000 to 32,000. And for any longs, we need to wait for confirmation in these areas, and then we can easily target on the daily chart. Let's say up to this area. So that's going to be the next few days range is what I can see for Bank Nifty. And that's going to be your weekly range all the way up to 36,800. On a smaller time frame, if I have to take a look at the smaller time frame, that's the area which has still been holding. To the last time it came there, it had tested it all the way to the lower end. But there is a good chance that we could still hold it because if this is broken, then the next confirmation area on the long side will be close to about 32,500. So Bank Nifty is under some pressure. So be careful about longs. Investment, avoid long trades only on confirmation, short trades only on pullbacks to good areas of supply zone. So that's the main demand zone, which is right now holding up. So there's a good chance we could again come all the way to this area of demand zone. So multiple levels to play around in Bank Nifty, but long trades will have to be cautious. Shorts only once we come here or break this demand zone and new supply zones formed, you can take a look at shorting the index. So cautious approach, overall trend down, but there has been quite a big move down, and we are at areas from where there has been good bounces in the past. So based on confirmation, we can look to trade on the long side, this particular range on the daily chart. Right. So be careful about longs, no investments, shorts on pullbacks to good areas of supply zone. Trade well and trade safe.